What's up, everybody? I'm ready to bring the pain this week for you and Dr. Roto. Oh, yeah. I know you've been over to the sites. Man, I know some of us took some losses. I took some losses. I'll bring that up at the end, but I had one win. That was good. But first, as always, let's talk about my recent article that just hit drroto.com today, and that's my hard hits and cool picks, huh? Yeah. Yeah. So let's get back it. Let's review last week, go over it. EJ top speed. I don't even think I couldn't even got better than that, man. Man, the tackles this dude had last week was insane. But the thing is it was just great to actually keep up and see it go down because I gave you 13 tackles for your IDP league, for your IDP championship. I didn't need AJ Speed. I had Zaire Franklin, who, by the way, also had double digits tackles and helped me try to get to the next level of my re-championship run, but that didn't happen. But still, that was a check mark since he was a heat check of the week. Oh, yeah. And let's get to Khaleke Hudson. Yo. I don't think anything's could have got better for this podcast and everything else, but to actually nail some dude that came out of nowhere that nobody knows about. Nobody knows about Khaleke Hudson. And that's what makes everything so much better is when we're sitting here doing podcasts and all these articles, we're looking up so many different people. We're also bringing up people, and those people hit. And when those people hit, we really do hope that you have them. So Khaleke followed a 13 tackle performance up with a 15 tackle performance. And I can guarantee only one podcast, one IDP hero, one IDP superstar, and one IDP god brought him up last week. That was me. I get you 15 tackles. That's what we do with Dr. Roto. But unfortunately, I didn't have Khaleke Hudson on my team. That 4 points wouldn't have helped anyway. I got waxed by at least 40. But hey, that's what happens. And that's the thing about seasonal fantasy football, especially head to head. You could have the best team the entire year and you can lose in the playoffs. I unfortunately had a lot of problems that have been well documented on many of my podcasts this year, but I pulled it out. I got myself into a third place game, and that's how you fight. Speaking about fighting, there's no better way to fight than have a battle, and that's my last guy I talked about last week, Jordan Battle. Did you win the war? Because he won the war. He had 7 total tackles, right? And the thing that made it even better was that you got that call once again on Bring the Pain, and you got that from my articles, Hard Hits and Cool Picks. You have 4 more wins to bring my season total to 54, 7, and 2. Clearly the best in the industry. Oh, yeah. But that's good. That's good. That lets you know that when you come to Dr. Roto, you get more than quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, players that play multiple positions like Taysom Hill, and kickers and defense. Oh man, no. I'll talk about kickers in a second. But this was a group of people that I was able to do research on last week and pull out and put into good positions that were well under owned. I mean, just last week alone, EJ Speed was only 3%, and he's only went up to 1.2%. What is wrong with you people? Do you guys like linebackers that get 5 tackles? Because you clearly don't. And you want to win, right? So if you want to win, I don't need to plug my podcast. I don't need to plug the website anymore. drroto.com. Yeah, you saw it coming. Oh, yeah. Right? But you got EJ at 3%, and you had Khaleke at 1% owned yet again. Again, it's 1% owned, 15 tackles. I can't talk no more about it, but how I can talk more about it is get to my new Hard Hits and Cool Picks article for this week. First guy up, Chris Barnes. Man, Chris Barnes? Yeah. Chris Barnes of the Arizona Cardinals. Filling in for Kaiser White right now. He is still low owned, 3% owned, and is coming off a great tackle, a great game. And so why he's going to be your next level, there's nobody in Arizona that's really messing with him. And there's nobody of that level, and they're just going to get waxed. Arizona is moving the ball, though. That was kind of really strange to see what happened last week with Chicago. But hey, they moved the ball and they showed up. However, when you're moving the ball, you're giving us opportunity for tackle, and you're giving Chris Barnes multiple times that he's going to be on the field so that he gets a nice rest, he gets back out there and gets your team more tackles. That's what we're talking about. We're just going to run it right now. 7 tackles, Chris Barnes. Get him on your waiver wire tonight if you get it. Oh, yeah. Let's move over to a Detroit Lion, a safety, Kirby Joseph. Now, there was another safety on the same team that I wrote up last week, but I did not do the full write-up on, that I did not bring up. And again, headed to the subs Discord, one of the subs and fans of mine actually brought up him. And I was like, I'm not telling you who he is. You just got to go to the subs Discord, or you could just figure it out by going there. But guess what? We got that boy another interception. He is the number 1 team in his league, and he's going to win all of his defensive art categories because of how great things are, like with how we come up with a lot of plays. He brings players up. He reads my articles, and he knows who he is. And at the same time, just to see him, getting deeper and asking me questions that I've talked about, and make it challenging for me. Ask me why I think Kirby Joseph is going to outdo Jordan Battle this week. Look, they're both in great spots, right? And the thing about Kirby Joseph is, Detroit does move the ball really fast. And when they're getting waxed, the defense is on the field the whole time. Again, opportunity for tackle. I talk about this all the time, and that's what you want. Let's move. Let's get. He is 10% owned, so he is little known about, right? We're going to do 5 tackles, 1 pass defense. Detroit does what they do, right? Let's get over to Jartavius Martin. You notice the last couple of weeks, I have been looking at the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders are giving a lot of time to their younger talents and people that they may want to go in that direction. Again, this is why we do this podcast as a seasonal podcast. And that is because with this play, you could pick him up right now and still have him on your team next year. And that gives you stepping stone to build on. You don't have to use your rookie draft picks on players that you want to bring in and develop or watch develop over time. You can have an instant starter right now if he's the starter next year. And there's no reason that Jartavius Martin can't be. I mean, he's our Mr. 1% this week. Yeah, I should make that a skit next week. Let me know about that. Hit the Dr. Roto, hit up under this podcast, go to my Twitter and at Heat Override. Let me know if you want to make that, or if you want to add any battles. Talk. Let me, because I know y'all listening. I know you getting it, right? Let me know what you want to hear next year. And maybe I'll add something to this show to make it a little longer. We'll do it that way. Because, in and out, get your stuff done. That's what we do anyway. But sometimes you don't mind hearing Battle, like when I brought up Battle and Joseph, and I just say, hey, they're cool. But let's give you more. So why don't you give me some suggestions right there? Let's get to it. 5 tackles for Mr. Jartavius Martin. So let's run it back. Chris Barnes, Kirby Joseph, Jartavius Martin. We're 54-7-2 for the year. You're in your championship. Good luck. I have to say that for all my subs, for people that do watch this video on any streaming platform or any social services that you might be watching this on, I want to say, first of all, thank you. But also, good luck to you in your championship game. If you have a 2-week championship game, I will be back next week for the final week for all of my IDP articles. And then from there, you're just going to get my DFS content along with everybody else's DFS content like you always do. As I was bringing up my teams, out of my 4 teams that had a shot to go to the championship game, unfortunately, 1 out of those 4 teams lost. I went 1-3. Both my home teams lost. I had to watch the home team, my second home team lose last night in a game that it shouldn't even have happened. Like, it was like I was watching it, and I'm just watching I'm just watching everything go away, and I'm like, okay, he's got, like yesterday, he had Jalen Hurts and he had Elliott. And I'm like, all right, we're cool. Now, mind you, let's go back. My kicker got injured, so I only had 2 points in my kicker position. And the rest of my team did well. In the average score, a lot of people, when they're predicted to score in this league, are about 6 to 8, literally 6 to 8. If you got a 10-point dude, you're doing something good, right? I had everybody on my team except the kicker and defense go for more than 17 points. Quarterback, everyone. I still lost. I lost to the number 1 scoring team in the league. I was the number 2 scoring team in the league. I was the number 3 scoring team of the week. However, it's one of those things. He was in first place. He got knocked out of first place. He was one of the guys that me and him had been changing the first place with in my what I call my McDonald's league all year long. That means that, he got the last laugh at the end. And that's fine. That's fine. It's good. But I have a third place game, just like I have a third place game in my other home league that I lost. That guy just waxed me, so there was nothing about it. But again, I'm going to bring up something at the end. And then my other league, same thing. What was funny is that in those 2 leagues, I went up against Jason Sanders, who had 22 points for kicking. And then Elliott had 17 points. So when I look and I see that I lose to Elliott with 17 points and my kicker had 2 points, yeah, if my kicker would have had 10 points or something, I still would have lost. But I look at that and I'm like, man. And then Hurts getting that touchdown at the beginning of the game, I'm like, come on, man. I ended up losing by that. And that's what happens. And that goes with sometimes kickers get in the way. And this is why in fantasy football, a lot of leagues are going away from kickers because, I won't say anything. I had Aubrey a couple weeks ago when he had 25 points, but I had already won. That the kicker was definitely the winner of these games. So that being said, good luck to you in all your things. I have 1 championship team. I've never won this league. It's my actually hometown ESPN created league. I've never won it. I've had the best team at least, and this is 15 years. I've had the best team 4 to 5 times in this league. I've never won it. I've lost it in the championship game. I want to say 3, 4, 5 times in this league. I've also lost in the championship game, just with other teams getting there, not being the number 1 ranked team and things like that. So that being said, it shows that, when you go into the season and you have a team like Dr. Roto behind you and you come to the office and you get your medications, your DFS medications and your seasonal medications, your best ball medication and your dynasty medications, we always make sure that your team is number 1 priority and that they will always be fit because we want to bring the fitness to your team. We want to make sure. Now, this was a hard year. Injuries happen. I lost Pittman on Saturday, right? In my 1 league. I really could have used him. And that was the emo for a lot of my losses, just like for you all this year. But you never stop. You don't forget. You always go on. That's why you're doing this, right? Because if you're just paying your money and you're not enjoying your time or creating a rivalry or being the heel of the championship rounds, oh yeah, yeah. Like I love being the heel of my leagues. And that's because I love it. And it's fun. And it gets everybody else. It motivates people. You would be surprised how much you can motivate others just by being the residential, heel. Oh, yeah. Because not everybody's a heel. And apparently being a heel for a year has got me lost. So while I go get ready to win some of these 3rd place championship games, which still brings in some money, I'm going to go win this other league. And that's how we're going to bring the pain to the competition. Oh, yeah. Have a great day, everybody. And always, may the points be with you. And tackles, dig it.